Hey guys, in this video, I'm going to tell you my top 15 items that I would purchase again as a second-time mother. This is my little newborn. He is 3 weeks old, so he's not really a newborn anymore. He's almost a month old. But these are my top 15 items that I used with my first baby and that I did rebuy with my second baby, or that I bought this time with my second baby. The first item on this list is my must-have that I had with Cooper, and I also have one with Mason, and it is right next to me, but I'm also going to insert pictures of things that I'm talking about. And the first item is a baby nest. In my list of not buys, which I will link down below, it's a video that I did, I listed and said, do not buy a bassinet. And this is because you don't want to get up in the middle of the night, and if you have a big bed like me, hopefully you do, or if you don't, you might want to buy a bassinet. But if you have a big bed, a baby nest is the way to go, or a DockATot. A baby nest is like half of the price of a DockATot and works exactly the same, and they lay in the bed with you, and it works amazing. And all I have to do is lift him out of there at night, change him on the bed, feed him whatever, and lay him back in there, and he is laid up right next to me. Especially with my fiance, he works offshore, and so 2 weeks out of every month I'm by myself anyway in this huge king-size bed, so we have plenty of room even when he is home for him to lay in the middle of us. Also, the baby nest on Amazon range between $20 and $40, and if you want a DockATot, they're about $100. But honestly, just getting a baby nest is what they're called on Amazon, and they have tons of different prints. And why not just spend $20 to $40 instead of buying one of the expensive DockATots or $100 bassinets? The next thing that I would recommend, especially if you have a newborn, well, if you're having a winter baby, is sleepers. In my video that I filmed and said do not buy was baby socks and baby mittens, and that's because the baby socks just fall off. And if you buy sleepers, the footed sleepers, you don't have to worry about socks because their feet are already in the sleepers. The next thing that I'm going to recommend you buy, especially if you have a winter baby, is layering pieces. So what I mean by that is buying plain white or black baby long sleeve onesies to layer under other outfits and clothes. So like Mason has a bunch of sleepers and cute little outfits that he can wear during the winter time, but sometimes it's really cold and newborns need a little bit of extra layer. And so sometimes I'll put that white long sleeve onesie underneath his sleeper and we go to town when we need to go. The next thing I would recommend is investing in a decent type of bottle that you plan to use. My favorite go-to is Dr. Brown bottles. It's just what I used with Cooper, and I also had a bunch of the cheap bottles with Cooper, and they were all dollar bottles that were given to me, and so I would use them, but they all have different pieces, and you can't figure out what bottle the pieces go to. And so sticking with one brand, you have all of the same pieces for every single bottle, and you don't have to worry about figuring out what piece goes to what because you have all of the same bottles. And also Dr. Brown's is an anti-colic bottle, and it is really good to prevent gas and fussy babies. The next thing that I would recommend is a MAM pacifier. We used Advent with Cooper, and Cooper never took them. He never took a pacifier as a baby. He tried to, and he did not like them. And it wasn't until I had Mason that we discovered MAM. I had actually bought him some Itsy Ritsy pacifiers, and he never would take them. And when I was in the hospital, I told Nick, go to Walmart and pick up a bunch of different brands of pacifiers, and we're going to try these out. And eventually, Mason really liked the MAMs. And so we just stick to that one brand, and we bought 2 or 3 packs, and we just go through those. They are also an orthodontic pacifier, so it helps with the development of the dental area. And they have pacifiers from newborn, and then they have some 6 months and up. So as they get older, you can change out the pacifiers with their brand. The next thing that I would recommend is having some type of baby swing or bouncer. I wouldn't recommend buying both of them just because they're only going to be able to use one anyways. And so I didn't buy a bouncer this time, but I bought a swing, and Cooper and Mason both really like their baby swings, and they can lay there still in it or they can swing in it, and it is a lifesaver. The cheapest one that I have found, I will insert a picture of it. It is the Bright Starts off of Amazon, and it was like $50. But you can opt for one of those that plug into the wall and work just as well, but they are going to be a little more pricey. But we just stuck with the $50 swing, and if he needs something bigger eventually, then we'll get it. The next thing I would recommend is getting Swaddle Blankets. And some soft ones. The ones at the hospital that they give you are pretty rough, and so I did not like having to use them when I came home from the hospital with Cooper or Mason, and so I always bought just my own Swaddle Blankets, and they're also really good for making the baby feel secure. Mason and Cooper Mason is really big into swaddling. He will only sleep if he's swaddled, and Cooper was the same way as a baby. It just helps them feel more secure. The next thing I would recommend, especially if you pump for breastfeeding, is a bottle warmer. They have bottle warmers at Walmart for $15 compared to other places. And I did not have a bottle warmer with Cooper, and I heated everything up on the stove, and it is so much easier at night to have a bottle warmer to heat up a bottle within 2 minutes. The next thing I'm going to recommend is a pacifier clip. Something that will loop around the pacifier that you can attach to their onesie, and if they spit it out, it does not fall onto the floor. I also would recommend the car seat, what do they call this, like the headrest for the car seat. I know a lot of doctors recommend against it, but I'm also licensed as I have a childhood ancillary degree, and so I have done a lot of studies into newborns and things. And the reason I recommend this is because as newborns, babies' heads move like crazy, and so their heads just flop everywhere. And so the headrest in the car seat that you buy will help prevent their head from rolling, and I just feel more comfortable with that. But if you don't feel comfortable buying one of those, they say that it is a hazard of causing their face to get stuck into it and not be able to breathe in an accident. But I'm not really worried too much about that. I just want something secure for his head to be comfortable in his car seat. The next thing that I would recommend buying, especially if you're a breastfeeding mama, even if you aren't, is a nursing cover that works as a car seat cover. So basically you can either cover yourself while you're nursing. You can also put it on over the car seat, and it stretches to where it covers the full car seat. So when you're out in town and people are like, oh, it's a sweet baby, he's completely covered, and you don't have to worry about all of those germs. And it also can cover as a stroller cover as well, or grocery cart cover. The next thing I'm going to recommend is a formula dispenser. I have one right here. And I pre-fill when he takes breast milk and formula. At night, I give him formula just because it's a little bit easier. I have pre-made bottles, so I have my water already in our bottles. And at night, all I have to do is add one little section of this formula into his bottle and shake it up, and it is a lifesaver, especially when you're going out in town as well. You can just have these pre-made, or you can have them next to your nightstand and just toss them into the bottle, so you don't have to get up and go into the kitchen, and you can just handle everything when you wake up in the morning. And the last thing that I am going to recommend is a Boppy Pillow. Even if you are not breastfeeding, a Boppy Pillow is amazing. You can lay your baby on your bed and prop their head up onto the Boppy Pillow to where they can see things, and it is amazing if you don't want to have to put them in the swing or the bouncer or their nest, and you just want to let them move their legs and stretch out a little bit and be propped up. It is amazing, especially after they eat, so they don't spit up or anything and not lay flat as soon as they eat. A Boppy Pillow is really good for that, and also it's really good for breastfeeding. You can just lean it up against you, and it kind of helps support the baby. So it goes either ways. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up so I can reach more people, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.